Thank you all so very, very much. I'm going to go way over here. It feels really weird. How many of you had a little bit of trouble with the idea that there was a beach ball floating around the church this evening? Not me. I like that. I hear some fun over here, some laughter over here. What kind of thinking gets us here? The programming, the practice that we do, we practice it so often for so many years of what we're supposed to do when we go to a certain place and how we're supposed to behave and how we're supposed to think and all of those kinds of things. What we're going to talk about this evening, my side of the beach ball, is about all of those things that we can get trapped in our spiritual practice as well. And this was one of those talks that I had to write for myself. Because maybe like many of you, we take our spiritual practice so seriously. We get so into, I gotta meditate. I'm not meditating. Wait, something's wrong. I'm doing it 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 wrong. I guess you know what I'm talking about. Yes. So my side of the beach ball, if you would toss me one of those, please. And okay. All right. I did have 3 earlier, and there was a plan to that, and Party City let me down. It was a party foul. I blew it up, and it promptly went. So anyway, when we're talking about my side of the beach ball, you're playing on the beach, you're having a great fun, and then somebody, you're all having fun until somebody gets hurt. And somebody starts fussing, and it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. And we do that in our perspective. That's what we're really talking about today. There's our perceptions, our perspective of things. When you have a beach ball in front of you, the colors. I'm looking at the color red on this side, and by God, my beach ball is red and white from this side. Obviously, you can see that what you're seeing from your perspective is very different. We get so caught up in this is the right way to do things. When you come to Wednesday Night Live, you have some fun, you have meditation, you have all these things, we have music, all that kind of stuff, but there's that little bit of party where it's like, something's different today. There's a beach ball floating around, there's some fun, there's laughter, there's lots of things going on, and not that this is ever dull here, I know that. I do know that. Not with Michael around. And thank you, by the way, Michael, for asking me to sub for you this week. I'm really honored. We can get so stuck in this that we forget to turn. We forget to go, oh, there's another side of this. There's 2 sides to every coin. You hear all the cliches. We need to step back and remember, oh, yes, this is that place. And in my very serious meditation and my spiritual practice, I know I would be so much happier if everybody would just see it the way I did, right? Yeah. So we're just going to have a little bit of fun today, a lot of fun, actually. Spirit loves fun. There is, I'll toss this back out to you, and feel free, not too distracting, but if I see it floating around, I'll tell you when to behave yourselves. Stop having fun. There were 3 salesmen. They sold farm implements. And way out in the Midwest, way out away from many things, and there's new equipment coming out, and every year they go out for a training, and there's 3 of them, and they go visit 1 or 2 farms in particular to kind of get their sea legs under them, to learn the equipment, have one of the farmers use it, see how, get feedback from them, and so what they can go out when they get back, they can go sell. They can sell the equipment. One of these salesmen was a Jew. One was a Hindu. And the third one was a devout complainer. So the 3 of them go out, and it's late spring, and they've been to a couple of farms, and they've got a whole week to do this kind of thing. And of course, the complainer complains about everything. He hated the rental car that they got from the airport. He hated the way that the other 2 drove. He complained about having to drive when they said, fine, you drive yourself. He complained about the food. He complained about the hotel rooms. He complained about everything imaginable, the weather, being out, we're so far from everything. So by the end of the week, of course, the other 2 guys are like, man, we can't wait to get home. Friday comes, they're going their last call in the afternoon. They're a few hours from the airport, and their car breaks down. And they're way, way out. I mean, a couple hours from the airport, and this is, cell phones, it's late on Friday. They know they're going to miss their flight. Complainer is, oh, we're going to miss our flight, and it's been a terrible week, and the other two are like, oh, please, just let's get home. So just to further up the road a little bit, they see a farmhouse on the side, and it's starting, the weather, they can see a storm's coming in. It's like the car's broken down, what are we going to do? The Jew says, I will go knock on the door and see if anybody can help us. Complainer goes, they all toddle up the driveway, and the farmer opens the door, and he says, hi, what's the problem? They said, our car broke down, we're not going to make our flight. He said, look, Joe's garage, it's after 5, he's closed for the night, he can't really help you tomorrow. We know we can't get you a tow truck, the weather's bad weather coming in. But tell you what, my wife and I will fix you dinner, you guys can stay for the night. I've got one bedroom that has 2 beds in it. There's a cot out in the barn by the office. The third one, you guys figured out what you want to do. So they have dinner. The complainer complains about the dinner, of course. And they're ready to bed down for the night, and they're trying to decide who's going to sleep where. And the complainer said, well, I'm not going out in the barn. I need to be comfortable. I need to sleep well. So the Jew goes out to the barn. He said, I will take the cot in the barn. And he's thinking, yay, I'm going to get some peace and quiet. But about 20 minutes later, there's a knock at the door. And the complainer says, why is there a knock at the door? You're waking me up. And the Jew says, there is a pig in the barn. And in my culture, a pig is unclean. And I don't think it would be appropriate for me to sleep in the barn with an unclean animal. So the Hindu says, fine, I'll go sleep in the barn. Complainer, complaining. About 20 minutes later, there's a knock on the door, and the Hindu comes back and he says, in my culture, cows are sacred, and I don't think it would be appropriate for me to sleep in the barn with a cow. So the complainer says, fine, I'll go sleep in the barn. And about 20 minutes later, there's a knock at the door. It's the pig and the cow. That's sinking for a minute. I love that story because, of course, perspective is everything. We can choose. We forget often that we can choose our perceptions. In fact, all of our perceptions are choice. Whether they are conscious or unconscious, mostly unconscious because they come from our conditioning. What is right, what's wrong, big, little, small, left, right, up, down. We practice it again and again and again. And we forget that we look at our circumstances, we look at our conditions, we say, we get into our lack thinking, we get into our limitation thinking, and suddenly we wake up in the morning and our first thought is, oh God, another day. Instead of choosing, wow, I got another day. I got another day to do this, and I got another day to do something differently. What the good news is about that is that just as the same way we practiced the bad news and the limitation and the lack and the darkness and the depression and the this and it's wrong and everybody else's fault and it's not my, the good news is we can practice it in the other direction. We did our gathering prayer before the service this evening, and one of the things in my intentions and in my daily practice is starting my day with gratitude. And actually what I do is I start the night before, which makes it an even more powerful practice. And what that is that it's a gratitude journal, yes. And what it does is it puts the mindset before I go to sleep at night, where I have at least 10 things that I'm grateful for today. Today I am grateful for, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sometimes on those days that have been a little more challenging, I have to dig a little deeper. And then I remember, no, I just have to look right in front of me. The beautiful house that I live in, my amazing wife, our pets, the fact that the air conditioning runs, that we have clean running water to drink, that I have more than enough food every day than I actually need. So I start that practice the night before, and I 10 things that I'm grateful for. Another practice that moves me into that place of repatterning my subconscious of that programming that I got, that I came up with, that said I wasn't worthy, that said I wasn't deserving. Another practice, 10 things I'm grateful for, 10 things that I am proud of myself for today. And that's where I can be as big and as bold and as bad and not feel like I'm being egotistical. And I tell you what, it's beautiful. And sometimes it is just as simple as I am proud of myself for getting up and writing in this journal today. I am proud of myself for stepping out of my comfort zone and making a phone call, sending an email for something that I knew was really going to help things move forward with my music or my speaking or my coaching career or any other number of projects. Spirit moving through me, guiding me every single day, saying, go here, go here, go here. And instead of going, no, I step beyond the programming and the patterning and I say, okay, I know God's got my back. I'm going to do this. So I'm proud of myself. 10 things that I'm proud of. And then I write my intentions for the next day. That when I wake up in the morning tomorrow, I'm going to be joyful. I'm going to know that I am that person of success. I am a person of increase. I am a person of generosity, of compassion, of fun. And the fun is the big one that I have to remind myself to do. Like I said, we get so caught up in the day-to-day of what I must do, our jobs, our homes, our families, all of those things, and our spiritual practice. And we have, as a culture, it's become a badge of honor. When somebody says, boy, you sure look tired, we go, oh man, yeah. Oh, wow. It has become a badge of honor. We're going the wrong direction. I know many of you have heard when Michael sings Amazing Things, and that part in the bridge in the middle of it, and he said, the best ideas come when we're out there having fun. Wow. And it's true. I have to remind myself in my practice, my intention tomorrow, I'm going to have more fun. Even if it's for 10 or 15 minutes, I'm going to get up away from my desk. I'm going to go walk my little office space in Wimberley, Texas. If you don't know where Wimberley is, it's about 40 minutes southwest of Austin. It's in the hill country. It's beautiful. You may remember that 2 years ago, in fact, Memorial Day, where the floods made international news for the Blanco River in a 1,000-year or 5,000-year flood that they figured. But it's a beautiful place, and my little office space is actually, I don't know how this keeps happening, my office is in an old church, old Baptist church, and I've got a little space that I rent. And the place called Blue Hole, which is on Cypress Creek, and it's this, you know you've seen them, there's this deep blue aquamarine water and this beautiful limestone bottom and these cypress trees all along. And I remember when I get up and go, okay, just go walk down to Blue Hole. Take 10 minutes, and it changes everything. It changes everything. I have a coaching client who shared with me an ongoing of the process of changing her program and paradigm. And she had some things in an intention of where she wanted to get her artwork placed. And she's very prolific. She works in a lot of different mediums. She draws and does clay and does all these other things. And part of that was the little thing Spirit saying, you know, this is a gallery. You know, your art would do very well. And a few weeks ago, she had a project that she was working on that she had committed to for a show. And she was going to dig in, and she's like, I'm just going to hunker down and go do that work on that Saturday. And something kept saying, no. There's a friend that was further out in the hill country that was having a big house concert party out on their ranch, and it was supposed to be like a festival. Really, really outdoors, all natural stuff and flowers and live music and great food. And she said, I'm going to listen to that. And she called a friend, and they drove out together, and everything from the moment she said yes just dropped into place. They went in the wrong driveway, or they thought, and it ended up right by her friend's house. And so they got like this, they're like, oh, hey, how are you? Come in, we'll give you the VIP seats. You know, come in the back gate. We're not going to, you don't need a wristband. Come in. Here's the tent. Here's the water. Here's the food. And some mutual friends were talking, she was talking her up, saying, you really need to see this woman's artwork. It's fabulous. And showed her the website, showed her all this kind of stuff. And this other friend said, you really need to have your art in this particular gallery. And click, there it went again. And a few weeks later, someone else said, and you need to have it here, and you need to have the same thing, the gallery, because she went out and she had fun, the idea. And while she was at that concert, at that festival event, the steps of who to call and who to get in touch with, and suddenly the right person showed up. And here, I know so-and-so at this gallery, and I da-da-da-da-da-da. And within a very short amount of time, because she said yes to fun, she said yes to Spirit. Spirit was guiding the whole way. Spirit wasn't saying, sit down and work on this artwork, beat yourself up to get this thing done. What was interesting is she talked about that piece of artwork, that she was struggling with it. She felt stuck. She couldn't get the right feel, the right colors, the right whatever was happening. And she went to this event, and suddenly, when things moved and moved and moved, and she moved, she went back to that piece of work and said, I know exactly what I need to do to finish this. So this is our lesson for today. And I'm not talking about slacking off all the time. I'm not talking about sitting, eating bonbons, watching soap operas all day on TV, Although if that is your sense of fun. But I think you know what I'm talking about. It's moving outside of something you normally do. It's using a different part of your brain. Steven Spielberg talks about his best ideas come when he's driving. And over the years, he's known enough to keep a notepad or a handheld recorder in his car, because he's accessing a different part of his brain. He goes a different direction. He gets lost on purpose driving. So it's just like, I'm out of my usual element. There's something else to be found here. Stephen King does the same thing. I think for him, he said when he's taking a shower, he just lets himself ruminate on things instead of, I'm sitting at my writing desk and I'm going to come up with an idea. We actually physically use a different part of our brain when we are engaged in fun. We let go of the how-to and how we must do things. We let ourselves play like children with beach balls. We allow ourselves to just let go and be as little children. There's some wisdom in that little verse, to be like little children. Let ourselves go back to that sense of curiosity, a sense of wonder. When was the last time you just went out and sat under the stars and looked up? Or watched a thunderstorm? My wife, I'm a weather freak. I would be a storm chaser. She wouldn't like that, but I try. So as we move into this place of meditation, I'm going to ask you to do something a little different this evening. If you guys would pass out. They're going to just take one. These are balloons. I want you to just take one. And I'm going to have the guys come up. As we start this, I'm going to move over here. And what I'd like you to do in this meditation, as you're getting your balloon, you can stretch it. Think about stretching your comfort zone a little bit. Let it be a metaphor for that. There's no magic color. Just, there's not one that's better than the other. Just find a balloon. And I'm going to start playing a little bit of music here. But as you get your balloon, what I'd like you to do is start setting the intention of those things that you know you would really like to release. Those tensions, those have-tos, those shoulds, those things that we keep ourselves driving, pushing, trying to make things happen instead of allowing. And just bring those things to mind. Okay? I look at there's some folks over here already blowing them up. You got ahead of me, but that's what you're going to do. Don't tie it off yet. I want you to grab another one, okay? So that you have it. You're just going to hold it. You're not going to blow it up and tie it. But here's the instruction. When you blow it up, bring to mind those things that you're letting go. You're going to put all of that into the balloon, okay? And you're just going to hold it. Don't hold the air in it. Don't tie it, okay? You got to the back row? Okay. And as you're holding it, I know you just want to have fun and make that little squeaky, squeaky, squeaky noise. Good for you. But just hang on, okay? Just for a minute. And just listen for a minute. I know he's laughing. That's all right. Oh, when we open our hearts and cast our love across the seas, we will share our light with the rising sun, and we'll know who we've come here to be. Oh, when we open our eyes, recognize the possibilities. We will share our minds, and one day is done, we will know who we've come here to be. A light for justice, a light for hope, and peace like the world has never known. And love, oh love, is who we've come here to be. A light for freedom, a light for joy, and healing like the world has never known. And love, oh love, is who we've come here to be. Oh, love is who we've come here to be. All right, now you're holding your balloon. Yes. Blow it up. Put all of that stuff you're going to let go of. And I'm going to ask you to stand up while you're holding it, holding the ear, and I want you to hold those balloons up so they can see you on TV, okay? Oops. There we go. Sorry about that, Greg. I got it hooked up. All right, balloons high. You ready to let them go? All right, 1, 2, 3, let them go. Say, woo! That was beautiful. All right, okay. Now, that was really good, but I want you to do it again, so go find your balloon. Okay, I'm kidding, okay? One last thing while you're standing, and I'm going to ask everybody to stand as you're able, okay? This is a very, very different meditation, but it is a meditation nonetheless. It is our laughing meditation. It is energizing. If you are ever in the doldrums, if you are ever in that part of your day where you're like, man, nothing's going right, and you don't feel like you can just sit there and get your mind to turn off, do this. 5 minutes, we're not going to do 5 minutes of it. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to stand up. Give me your power pose. Okay, put your hands on your hips. You're going to throw your head back. Don't care what anybody thinks about how you look. Make your ugly cry face, make your happy laugh face. If you think you look silly laughing, so what? Everybody else does too. All right, and what we're going to do is say ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ho. And then let it rip. So we're going to lean back. We're going to go ha, 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 ho, and then just let it go. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ha, 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 yeah, you can do that. There you go. Doesn't that feel better? Doesn't that feel better? All right, thank you so much. You can have a seat. Thank you so much. Please have a seat. You have been great fun. You have been wonderful participants. Thank you again for allowing me to just shake up your day. I hope you've had a great time too. You are the light. You are here to be, love. Remember that. And everything, everything, everything. Just be so grateful. I am so grateful for you. So grateful for these guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you. Thank you.